Good morning, Anna, and good morning, Megan. This is a webinar that we put together about SB Awareness Month to kind of help you prepare for the Radio Media Tour. So interviews are still being scheduled. We have about 3 scheduled right now. We'll send you the final schedule as soon as it's available, and I will send you updates as we go. For now, the tentative schedule is that, Megan, you'll be available from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Time, and you'll be available from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's how we're scheduling the interviews. I have a bunch of tips along with this email to kind of give you an idea of what are the best ways to handle the radio media tours. The most important things I think that are on there are to have everything out in front of you for reference, so you can easily find the answers to a question if you get confused. Try to only talk for 20 to 30 seconds at a time. That keeps the conversation going 2 ways. Most of these will be done in a question and answer format with the host. Others will be done as a conversation. But in general, you just want to remember to kind of keep it at that 20 to 30 second interval. On the time, last year we had a lot of interviews that were scheduled back to back. So essentially we'd end one and call into the next. Just that the host sometimes gets a little wrapped up in the topic and really interested. And this sort of allows you to kind of wrap the conversation before they have to just cut it off. Not to disagree or contradict the host. If they say anything wrong, there's a few tips in the sheets that I gave you on how to correct the information. But you just want to be sure that it's, a conversation, which I think will be no problem for either of you. It's perfectly fine to say the same thing in each interview. If you come up with a good anecdote or story that seems to work well in one interview, feel free to use it in another. Your contact information for the Day Radio Media Tour. The conference operator will call you 10 minutes prior to the first interview, run through any last-minute questions that you have, and then they'll be responsible for contacting each of the different radio stations and conferencing us in together. I will also be on the line, but my line will be muted. But if you need me, let know, and they'll unmute my line. But if you can send me your contact information at least 1 week prior to the Radio Media Tour, that would be great. We send out a media alert to the stations that are going to do interviews, giving them some background on who you are, your relationships to spina bifida, what spina bifida is, and a little bit of information about the walk and roll. And we also give them a few questions that we suggest that they ask during the interview. For this part, these are the questions that are actually asked during the interview. I sent you, along with the email, a script. It's a guide. Feel free to put your answers into your own words. If there's other details that you want to add in or things that you want to omit, that's fine. Like I said, the interviews for the most part are pretty quick, so we're trying to get out the most pertinent information to really sure that we're hitting that home. Just a little bit of background. This year we're going to try to factor in the walk and roll since it's become a much larger event. We're going to factor that in where we can in interviews. It's a few walk and rolls that are occurring in October. If any of them are occurring in the area in which being interviewed, that's designated for you. I'll let you know that so that you can give the date or the location information for that. For the most part, I think there's 3 or 4 that are taking place either the weekend after your Radio Media Tour or the rest of October. But for the most part, the rest of them have already taken place throughout the year. And if you do have an opportunity to talk about the walk and roll, we just kind of let folks know it's a family-friendly event that we do to raise awareness about and to celebrate those living with spina bifida. All the funds obviously benefit programs and services. They occur throughout the year. That's not typical. A lot of nonprofits do, a set month, they do a set day, and others do them throughout the year. In our case, we just want to make sure that folks know that they're throughout the year, that the schedule is being updated, new walks are being added all the time under the National Walk and Roll site if they want to check that out. This is a link. I put this link in the email that you received. It's a video that Scott Price did a few years ago for us. It uses a lot of the same questions and answers from your script. So it'd be helpful for you to review it, kind of see. Scott added in a lot of different personal anecdotes. He sort of changed some things around that worked better for him for Word. So you might want to look at it just as an idea of sort of how it may go. It's not the same as an interview because you don't hear the person asking the questions, but it might give you a good to see kind of how he sort of spun this in his own direction. Say thank you. We really, really appreciate this. Last year's Radio Tour hit just under 5 million people. Great reach for us, and I think this year will be even better. If you have any questions between now and the time that the interview is, please feel free to call me. My number is on here, or you can email me. I'll be happy to answer those. I can't answer them. I'll get in touch with the firm we're doing the tour through, and they can certainly answer them for the most part. They do the firm does these sort of things a lot. So they have a lot of experience with it. Most of the spokespeople they work with are like you all. They're professionals, but not professionals in the radio interview sense. But they do a great job. We were really happy with it last year, and I think we'll have experience this year. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to pass them along, and I will certainly do my best to answer them or get the answers. Thank you all so much. And like I said, I'll send you the final schedule as soon as it's completed. Have a great day.